We're Greg and Leah, the host of Evolve, the #1 podcast about relationships, and not just the tender or toxic romantic ones, but all kinds of relationships with many people, places, and paths.
And we aren't here because we know or understand it all, simply because we are working to evolve and asking others to join the evolution.
So join us in this next episode of Evolve!
So this is a surprise episode of Evolve with
Greg
and Leah. Let me actually, before you start, we're gonna, because I just got back from a retreat recently about intuition. I was like, oh, let's do this together. And then you walk in the door and you're like, you might want to hit the record button because I got something that could be a podcast episode. So to be all fair and honest here, I have no idea what you're going to say. So let's see what happens.
First off, I don't know whether it'd be a podcast episode. I just came in and I said, we better hit the record button because it might be good. I have a lot to release. Without going into specifics in this episode at all, because it doesn't really matter. And we all have them. And I want to talk about the relationship that we have with the voices in our head.
Oh, so this kind of goes with the intuition. Okay.
Maybe. And I'll tell you a little about it. You know, you self-regulate. You think you got a grip on your life and your mind and your thoughts, and you can tell yourself that this is not in your control, and you can decide what things you are in control with. And then all of a sudden, something hits you, and I don't know what happened, but last night, man, my brain would not shut the hell up.
While you're trying to sleep, you mean, or what?
And it was talking, and the root of all these, for me, the root of all these voices boils down to just one thing: you're not good enough.
Oh.
And you're not seen. You're not good enough. Or that's the boiling it down. So, and I realized something today, and I'm gonna go forward and backward, but I realized that the voices are always been there. They're always there. And they also connect to parts of our, when we listen to them or get caught up in the just over and over and over, it attach itself, it seems, to a part of your body or area of your body. Or, for lack of better word, the chakras of your body. Last night it was my, above my stomach, and it usually is my stomach area that I thought, we as a society are always dealing with the outside, the problem of the result, not the actual root. I didn't think that last night. I thought I got all this epiphany, I guess, when, anyway.
While taking the dog on a shit walk.
It's true. I got up this morning and tried to suppress the narrative by my daily routine is getting caught up in my coffee, my stocks, my pot sessions.
Your workout.
My workout. And that's when I went and had an intense workout this morning and put on my, here's a rec, Power Thoughts Meditation on Apple radio.
I think we've shared that one before, but yeah.
So I put on that, and it was about the one, I have 3. It's spiritual abundance, there's courageous, and there's physical healing. I think that those are the 3. I put on being courageous today. And worked out, I tried to buffet my body hard and work out hard.
Buffet?
That's the scripture.
Buffet your body. Okay, sounds.
I think Paul said that in Corinthians or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that helped, and I came back with my more of my normal routine, and had to take the dog on a shitter. And I will say that when you have these voices, and I'm hoping that I'm not the only one in life that does. I have these voices, and it's great to get out into nature.
Correct.
It helps. So my first thing was, I'm going to put these voices away. I'm gonna explain them out, and that didn't work. They just kept being hammered and hammered. And I thought, all right, I got to come back to the present moment. What's actually happening right this second?
Right.
Breathe. So I started just naming shit because I couldn't get my head to stop fucking just
Like out loud, you started saying things, or just in your head? Like
actually, first I started
tree, water,
exactly
fence.
I started in my head saying it, and then I said I got to say these things out loud to just override. But it didn't go. It didn't really go away. It just settled down, and I thought to myself as I kept walking, and we have a nice fountain creek that it's called Fountain Creek, runs right behind our house, and there's a nice path and walkway, and the dog likes to go in the grass and stuff. So I got out there, and it wasn't until I got off the concrete part of the walk and got into the grass that I started feeling better, breathing, smelling, and saying those things. And then I said to myself, all right, who are these voices are not me. They're not me. They're someone.
None of our thoughts are us.
Yeah, and so
we're the observer of the thoughts.
I started to remind myself of what I already know.
Right.
And then I figured, let me talk back to them as if with the devil's advocate kind of thing, you know, and that didn't work as well as I thought.
So, like, let me like say an example of that thing then. So, like, if something's like saying, "Oh, you're so ugly," you would be like, "Really? In whose opinion?"
Right.
And like, or what? By what standard?
Cross-examining those voices, and some of them, when I recognized first, I think when the cycle began to turn, the voices begin to stifle, is when I started recognizing, one, this is not me. And this is, wherever this is coming from, it was like, I almost gathered it all up in my head as one entity and gave it the finger and said, fuck you. I'm not listening to you.
Yeah.
I don't need you. You need to get the fuck out of here. And so that was the cross-examination part.
Right.
And then I kept walking. It was like, I had a time frame in my head when I needed to get back home and stuff. So it got to be that point where I started thinking less and less about those thoughts. But the epiphany came when I started speaking out loud who I was. And it came back from the Power Thoughts meditation, where it's all about, I am courageous, I am whole, I am, and I am, and I started giving my I ams out, or throwing them out, what I am, and reminding myself what I am, and who I am, and where I'm going, and the power that I have, and that was more of a fuck you to that voice than anything, man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't till I was specifically, I am one with the universe. I am this. I am that. I am entirely everything around me. I'm connected to. And the last one was, and this is what hit the fucking thing. And I am God. And that sounds crazy and blasphemy and rip off your shirt.
If you didn't hear the word because maybe the table banged.
But when I said I am God, at least I am God of me.
Sure.
And
right.
I am God. Everything went away. Ran like scared little chickens.
Like demons fleeing?
I don't know about that. I didn't see a vision or anything like that, but the actual peace. And then I was able to, where I was at the very beginning of the resort here. And, And I because I said that, I had all this power. And I started singing The Wizard from Black Sabbath. And whistling the song. And I just started speaking out the things that I am, the things that it was, I don't know.
Transformational?
I needed to get this information out of me, energy to go out forth even more by speaking this. And like I said, I don't know whether this is a podcast worthy or anything. It's certainly worthy for me.
Well, it's very important, the vibrations that we feel, that we set, that we say.
Because I thought about going to you and start speaking those thoughts, those things, and us, you coaching me through, and because you're a life coach.
What? Because of, you're saying the negative things, so the low vibes.
And rather than regulate myself, my first thought was to come to you. But when I came in from after the workout, you were occupied, which was awesome.
Well, no, I think those moments often for us, maybe not often, but I know I've been, even recently, a few weeks ago, I was in a very, very dark, low space, and I reached out to 4 different people. Everyone was busy. Everyone. But I ended up having my own breakthrough and standing on my own 2 feet.
How much stronger are you
Sure.
when you have your own breakthrough than having... And
I mean, there's a time and a place for everything. There is a time that someone else really helps you.
And
then
I
there's...
was about to say is give a little advertisement for life coaches is if the life coach you're working with helps you regulate yourself, not gives you the answers, not
Correct.
gives you
the...
because you're not going to build a muscle by someone else working out.
Yeah, we don't fix people. We don't fix people. We help them fix themselves.
That's a good barometer. And I am so thankful though that you were occupied, and that's the thing too. That became another voice.
She doesn't even like me.
She don't like you, and it's
she's
like, oh
angry
my God, where did
at you.
that? It's like,
she doesn't want you.
Right? It's like, good God, and I'm probably the only one in the whole planet that has these voices like that.
No, but there is a study that said like only 20% of people have voices in their head. I'm like, or less. I was like, what? What are the other people doing in their heads?
They're robots.
Like, I don't know.
they're
statistics were
computer-generated
staggering
programs
that they don't have inner dialogue. I was like, what the hell is happening in their heads then? So who knows? I'm curious if you are a listener. Do you have the inner dialogue in your head? Comment, please. I'd love to know. Because if you say no, I want to pick your brain. What's in there?
So that, and I probably, because of life cycles, I have noticed the patterns of my life anyway. I'm a pattern seeker, and this will happen again.
Oh yeah, that's not like
and it's going to happen.
You didn't conquer inner voices and negativity. It might even happen
harder. The crowd will come back. I mean, I remember. It reminds me just right now of that movie, A Beautiful Mind, where he just you actually thought those people were real.
The John Nash story, the mathematician John Nash. I mean that's what in the movie you think they're real the whole time, but they never leave. They're just more silenced towards the end.
And so that is. I know that they'll be coming back. And
you might handle it different next time. That's where there isn't necessarily a remedy, one size fits all remedy for every time that you need rebalancing, realignment.
I think in this specific situation, and this is why I said I'm not going to even name even one of the characters in the crowd, because I will not. It's like
re-empower.
I will not give the power back. I'm not going.
Yeah.
There's no reason to even discuss the power. It's gone. It has left the building for now, and maybe I can someday leave it completely, or like John Nash, they'll just shut the fuck up while I'm walking around.
Yeah, they're just there, but it doesn't bother you. But I will say, like having my own experience recently at I went to a spiritual retreat by myself and stuff like. Stuff comes up and surprises you. What the hell? I thought I was all good with this.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the only one at the retreat who had that, where I think when you are really seriously working on yourself, just be prepared. Stuff is going to recycle, but it doesn't mean that you haven't addressed it. It just means, hey, there's more here.
Yeah.
We didn't dig it all out the first time. It's like a cancer in your soul. And there's just layers to it. So I'm reminding myself and reminding you and any listener, don't be discouraged that something's coming around the mountain again and you're like, oh, hell, what the heck? Thought I was good. How is this here? It's very easy to get sucked into the hole of, I guess I never fixed it. Obviously, I'd done all this work and it meant nothing. It's very easy to suck yourself into a low vibration, which it sounds like where you were at this morning is a low vibe. And there's a time and a place for all frequency, I do want to say, because I think we tend to think low vibe bad, high vibe good. No, I mean, grief is a low vibe and sadness can be, but there's a time and a place, like watching Inside Out, sadness is necessary on emotion for us. We need to allow stuff to come up and come out, but when you feel that it's sucking you into a dark hole, like you said you felt for the last 10, 12 hours, whatever, you have to make the conscious choice, do I want to stay here? Do I like how this feels? And if not, what do I do to get out of here?
And the one thing that I noticed in the very beginning was how this was affected my body. When I would start going into these when I'd start just listening, because it wasn't me, but the voices internally in my head were making me cold but hot at the same time. I was sweating. I mean, just my stomach turning. I had to get up. I was thirsty, so I got up, I think 3 times last night. And I don't.
Oh wow, I must have been out because usually I know when you're up and out and up and down.
And that's why I was saying that one. Well, and the blind, it always shakes. It's like, God damn it.
Oh yeah. If it's halfway up, the blind moves a lot. But no, it's just I think that more people are not more. That's not true. I think it just depends on the circle you hang out with. Our circle of people we spend time with, or listen to, or glean from on the internet, are people who are in tune with themselves.
Yeah.
Like listening to their body, because you don't go. Unfortunately we don't have a system here in America that you go for illness and they ask, how you feeling about your job? How's your marriage? How's the relationship with your kids? They don't connect anything that's emotional to your medical problems.
And that's sad because, like I just said, my body reacted.
Yeah, your body's
physically
going to
reacted
react.
to my thoughts. And positive and negative, because now my body does not have those ailments at this present moment.
Right.
I feel amazing. Because my brain is clear, my thoughts are.
Well, I think I shared with you that like someone shared. Peter Levine, I think, is the one who said it. Where he's the one who started the somatic exercises, where stuff that you store in your body.
Right.
And I think it was him who mentioned. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the book I read, which I guess I'll call these book recs. It's a fiction, but it's called Wellness by, I think it's Napoleon Hill. I want to say it is. I'll confirm. But in there, he talks about how...
pretty old writer.
No, I'll have to confirm. But it's just called Wellness. It's a fictional book, but so good. But one of the things they say in there is how stress is the new lion. So primally, like hundreds, thousands of years ago, we only had high stress levels when we were trying to not die from something huge trying to kill us. But now, mental stress is the new lion. So we're constantly in this high stress state.
Funny
so your body's constantly tense or sick or ill. So
it's funny you say that, because my son and I just, as many of you know, went and hiked Pikes Peak.
Maybe no one knows.
Maybe no one knows. I have a whole video on it.
That I'm supposed to edit.
We went and hiked Pikes Peak.
Which is America's mountain here, 14,000 plus.
And I love people. It's like, well, that people climb that mountain every single day. They go up it and they down it. And you fucking do it. I can tell you that right now. I don't hear you doing it.
Well, you guys did it with a lot of luggage,
we decided, there's people that actually we met on the trail that go up and down it. Went up
regularly.
And down it.
Yeah.
So, kudos to them, man. And they even were like, you guys are fucking amazing.
Back to the lion. What made you think about, funny you said that.
We stayed in the forest.
Right, to sleep.
In the middle of the forest. It was not like KOA.
Right.
In a tent. And I was less afraid. And there's bears, there's tigers. Not tigers.
Good try.
There's bears. I think I was more afraid of
There was fish this big.
I was more afraid of the freaking squirrels, man. They come take your shit.
Oh,
but anyway,
my God.
Yeah. And
there's wildlife.
There's
real
wildlife. Real stuff.
Those wascally wabbits.
I was less
Those
afraid,
mountain beavers.
Thinking back. Oh, yeah, the mountain beavers.
Oh, go.
No, they don't have a clue what we're talking about. But anyway, I felt less anxious in that tent in the middle of the night than I did this morning.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say, in the city,
No, well, yeah. In what's that city we went to with the
Seattle. Yeah, oh, geez.
Talk
about the anxiety you had just for a second. I was like, wait, you're a strong, big, huge man and intimidating. How are you scared here? I had no feeling of being scared in Seattle.
You were in the car, locked.
No,
I was outside on the sidewalk.
No, even still. I just had no anxiety there. But going back to that, stress thing and our bodies and its effect, stress is the new lion. And if you can tame the lion, then you can have a wholer, healthier body, mind, soul. So I think it's important that we remember it's all connected.
And I was just thinking so you said you gave a time frame where it was, let's say we went to bed last night at...
Oh, I don't know. I just said 10, 12 hours. I don't know.
It's been, let's say, 8 hours now, and it's been dealt with. What about the times that we haven't dealt with?
Oh, sure. That's why somatic exercises can pull that out of you. Breath work can pull that out.
You go to your gym, you go to your work, you get started, you go out into society carrying this kind of baggage.
That's why we're so sick, fat, and nearly dead. I mean, it's just, we carry a lot of trauma. We carry a lot of bad, negative stuff that we either don't know we have to deal with, don't know how to deal with it, just very unaware that it's there or why. Like, I mean, I know many people with chronic pains and illnesses. I shared with you even recently how, like, at nighttime my fingers were swelling and swollen. And then, like, about 2 weeks ago, I had a huge release, kind of an FU to the universe. I mean, totally, where it's just like, you know what, I'm done. And it was like I let go of a grasping tightly to something that I think I just thought I needed. And since then, like, I have had very little issues with my joints and fingers. And we think that they're not connected.
Right.
We absolutely think physiological has nothing to do with psychological, but it's absolutely untrue. They're all connected.
Such a pill-driven society, or a quick fix society.
Remedy, right. We don't want to
trying
dig, because it is hard work. I mean, how much work did that take? How much energy did that take for you to have to pull yourself out of the pit?
Well, you have to stand up and turn.
If you ever watch Parks and Rec, you'll... or watch Parks and Rec. That's our recommendation. Watch Parks and Rec.
Right?
But yeah. So what was the title of this episode? What would you say if we're going to give this an episode title? It's just our relationship to our...
Voices in our head? I guess that's where I started.
Okay.
Yeah.
The voices in our head. So let me ask this question here then. Do you feel... Like, so you said you started with those voices that were just dark, negative, downing, and then you ended with a different... You said the negative one, those aren't my thoughts. What you ended with, those I ams, are those your thoughts?
No, they're not.
Okay, so...
You know why?
Why?
Because, well, they are now. Because I chose to make them my thoughts.
So the true you, not the think,
me,
not the thought, but the thinker.
And this may blow people's minds.
This is going to blow people's minds.
You are not your thoughts whatsoever.
Yes,
you choose what you think.
You're the one who gets to choose.
Every thought you have that you hold on to, that's your freaking choice. You've made it. No matter what you think, you the true you.
Right.
And that's where the true me is connected to everyone, everything.
Right.
Everybody, the complete universe, even the rocks will cry out. And so when you get to that place, then you can... all those voices are so sublime. They're so sub-level. It's...
Well, and I, like, when we were talking, what I was seeing was, like, somebody on an assembly line and the conveyor belt going by. And if you remember the episode, or maybe you are young, old, whatever,
robots.
of... not robots. What was I thinking? The, I Love Lucy.
We watch... Oh, God.
Where all the chocolate and they're, like,
yeah.
supposed to keep up. Like, we can choose what we're going to pick up off that belt and consume.
Right.
And so often, I think we are programmed to believe we don't have a choice of what happens to us, of what we think. And we don't even realize we have control of our thoughts sometimes. We just think that that's just, I'm an angry person. I remember the first time you said, like, a decade ago or something, you had this epiphany of, like, oh my God, I'm an angry person. I feel like that was the beginning of your insight and your self-awareness and self-evaluating. Now you've learned I don't have to identify as an angry person. That's just a feeling, a thought but that was the beginning of your, like, oh my God, I'm going to look inside here and see, like, what is going on with me. And this is why I struggle. So I think just a good first step, if you're not someone who is used to taking your thoughts and observing them instead of feeling you are your thoughts, is stepping back and taking a breath for a second and doing what you did today maybe it can even be a good thought or just any thought, and just step back and realize I'm the observer. I'm the thinker, not the thought. And kind of how you did, where it's like, do I want that? Like, you're in that assembly line, and sometimes thoughts come millisecondly fast. I mean, I could tell you, like, how many times, like, someone will say something and I will, before I have an answer to their question, I have thought out this whole trail and train of how I got to this answer. I mean, how fast our brains can compute and how fast stuff is happening. It does feel like we don't have control at moments.
What I saw in my experience today was because of, I guess, the ego part of me, but I was the guy on a stage, and there's these crowds of people.
Right.
And the crowd is what the crowd was chanting to me was what at the first of the night was all the
negative stuff. The boo, get off the stage.
And I had to not listen to the boos and start trying to find out who was in the crowd that were supporting me.
Right.
And say, you come to the front, you come till the whole crowd was gone, and I had a crowd of
just your fans.
My fans. And then I grabbed my guitar.
Oh my God. And became Van Halen. And channeled Van Halen and played his music.
No. That didn't happen.
Well,
actually, it was Black Sabbath, so it wasn't Van Halen today.
Oh, okay,
so.
okay, interesting. But yeah, I mean, just start taking steps for yourself to analyze your thoughts. Just taking one and something comes across the desk of your brain, I will say, and just take a second to think about this. Is this what I want to believe? This is what I want to pick up. Do I want to ingest this, consume this, digest this? And if not,
it's a
smorgasbord.
spiritual smorgasbord. You get to choose what you
smorgasbord?
want to eat and your thoughts that you want to keep.
So anything else you want to share? We had a couple book recs in here, some meditation app recs. I'll make sure I put those in the description and in the links for those. Anything before ending here? And we got to get dressed and eat some breakfast. And, well, we might not have time to do my intuition game. That'll be another episode, which I wasn't going to do the game on here, but definitely got some stuff to talk about in that.
And if anybody wants to hear or see any of the videos on the Pikes Peak adventure with my son,
we're going to get those up.
We are?
Oh, yeah, I know you keep asking me to edit these.
I got to get them off my phone.
I'm the only one who does all the editing here, so it gets a little backed up.
That's not true. We have an editing crew and
Mm-hmm.
a series of...
Yeah, so anyways, until next time...
Be evolving, people.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Yeah. I missed it, see?
What do you want to say? Go.
I want to say hit the like button, subscribe, and please make a comment.
Yeah, we'd love to hear feedback. Yeah, especially if you have voices in your head or you don't. Which one are you? Maybe we're psychologically broken, and that's why we have voices in our head.
Well, these are different from everybody else.
Anyways, until next time, be evolving people.